Welcome to my channel, In Search of Truth. In the early 1770s, the American colonies simmered with unrest. The British Parliament, heavily in debt from global wars, imposed a series of taxes on the colonies to raise revenue, without granting them representation in Parliament. No taxation without representation became the rallying cry. One tax, in particular, struck a nerve: the Tea Act of 1773. Though it actually lowered the price of tea from the British East India Company, the Tea Act was seen as a sneaky maneuver, meant to establish a monopoly and assert Britain's right to tax the colonies. For the colonists, it was about principle, not price. By December 1773, 3 ships, the Dartmouth, Eleanor, and Beaver, sat moored in Boston Harbor, carrying 342 chests of British East India Company tea. Colonial law required the tea to be unloaded and taxed within 20 days, or it would be seized by customs officials. Local patriots, led by the Sons of Liberty, refused to allow the tea to be unloaded. Town meetings were held, and the ship's captains were pressured not to comply. Royal Governor Thomas Hutchinson, however, insisted the tea be landed and the tax paid. On the evening of December 16th, more than 5,000 colonists gathered at the Old South Meeting House. Samuel Adams, a prominent leader of the resistance, reportedly declared, "This meeting can do nothing more to save the country." That cryptic remark was likely the final cue. A pre-planned act of defiance was about to unfold. That night, dozens of patriots, some disguised as Mohawk Indians to symbolize their American identity and to hide their real names, made their way silently to Griffin's Wharf. The disguises were symbolic but also strategic. Anonymity protected them from British retaliation. The operation was coordinated but peaceful. There would be no injuries or bloodshed. With quiet determination, they boarded the ships and methodically dumped 342 chests of tea, worth nearly 10,000 pounds at the time, into the icy harbor. The water turned brown with tea. For hours, the men worked in silence, ensuring every last bit was destroyed. They took great care not to damage the ships or steal anything. This was not a riot. It was a political statement, delivered with precision. News of the Boston Tea Party stunned Britain. The act was seen not just as vandalism, but as a direct challenge to royal authority. In retaliation, Parliament passed a coercive act called the Intolerable Act in America, which closed Boston's port and revoked local governance. Instead of isolating Massachusetts, the crackdown united the colonies. Support poured in from New York, Virginia, and beyond. The seeds of revolution had been sown. The Boston Tea Party remains one of the most iconic acts of civil disobedience in American history. It showed that ordinary people could resist powerful empires, not with armies, but with coordinated action and moral conviction. It wasn't just about tea. It was about freedom, identity, and the right to self-determination. What began as a protest against taxation became a spark that helped ignite the American Revolution. Today, the Boston Tea Party is remembered not just for its boldness, but for its clarity. That liberty sometimes requires throwing the rules and the tea overboard.